We are live. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, we are live. We're here on YouTube. We're here on Instagram. What's up? You know how we do. We got a little dual screen action. 2-screen, 1-screen, 2-screen. We got YouTube over here and Instagram over here. How's it going? We got a dub tonight. 2-0 on the preseason. Let's hear it for the boys. Let's hear it. We got a dub, and we're going to talk about it. I'm telling you, man, it was a good game. I mean, because we won, it wasn't a good game in terms of watching it, because there's some moments you're like, it's preseason football. But there were some great moments. We're going to talk about it. There were some standouts. There were some duds. And, you know, roster cuts are going to happen again this week. Tuesday, roster cuts. And the Niners will have to make some tough decisions here. My man, Fantasy Football Show, what's good? We got the Niners crew here, and we have the Niner crew over here. How's it going, YouTube fans? How's it going, Instagram fans? If you guys want me to answer your questions a little bit easier, hop on to the YouTube, because it's a lot easier to, interact with you. But hey, what do you guys think about the game? I thought it was a good result. We won, and there were some standouts. So first and foremost, I want to get to my top story of the game, like Javon Kinlaw. Fuck yeah, man. I'm so happy for Javon Kinlaw. 10 months after the ACL surgery, he came back. Granted, he played the backups. I know he played the backups. But let me tell you something. Javon Kinlaw came to play, and he said he was pain-free after the game. He said he felt like a kid again. Yo, shout out to Big Kinlaw, man. Big dog. Kinlaw's coming for blood this season, and I'm so happy to see him healthy. He looked good. He was explosive. And then he hits the gritty after he gets the sack on Kellen Mond. Woo! I love Javon Kinlaw, man. I'm excited. If this guy can stay healthy, we know he can be a monster in the trenches. And, man, he just blew right by that lineman. Again, it was backups, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. But it was just happy to see him. It was just good to see him get that big play, like get it out of the way. And for him to say he's pain-free, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. I'm happy for Javon. That was a nice play. He was playing like he was wrecking up shop. That wasn't the only play. They let Kinlaw play a lot. He played a pretty much, the whole first half. He played a little bit into the second. Like, Kinlaw was in that game for a while, and I think they wanted to see, how is that knee feeling? How is the knee holding up? And I'm telling you, man, it was nice to see him healthy. It was gritty season today. Javon Kinlaw hits the gritty. And then let's talk about Danny Gray. Hit the gritty on the faithful. He hit the gritty after the 2-point conversion. And the Minnesota or the announcers were so salty. The Minnesota announcers were not happy about it. What's up, Smitty? Grant, Big L, Kinlaw season. We've been saying if Kinlaw can stay healthy, he's going to ball out. And Danny Gray, man, he hit the gritty, and the Minnesota announcers were so mad. They were so mad. I was dying, literally dying. I was dying. So mad. He's like, you don't come into Minnesota and do the gritty on our field. And I was like, well, he did it. He did it. So, because Justin Jefferson does the gritty. So that was good to see. Danny Gray, he got that swag. Danny Gray's like, he gives me some KB vibes. He's got the swag, I like Danny Gray. He almost had a nice touchdown in the corner of the end zone on a 2-minute drill by Brock Purdy. But he didn't stay in bounds. That was a nice catch. He had some nice catches in the game. I know he had a drop, but Danny Gray's continuing to progress. And again, I like the kid. I think we got some great rookies, man. We have some dogs on this team, some gems on this team. And you want to talk about a gem. Jordan Mason. Jump on the Jordan Mason hive. I've been telling you all trading camp. This guy is shining and grinding. Yo, running back is a position that we have to talk about. My man, Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason looks good. He looked good. He was running with authority. And Jason Poe was making some blocks, man. Because, okay, some of these linemen, when we're going to talk about them, some of these linemen didn't make some big blocks. But, man, Jason Poe had some terrorizing blocks. Undrafted gem. My man, Jordan Mason, was running and gunning. I'm telling you, this man needs to make the roster. I said it. If Jordan Mason doesn't make this final roster, somebody is going to snag him up. He has to make the final roster, man. I can't picture him off this team. This guy is running with purpose, he's a diamond in the rough. Yeah, they're saying he's a diamond in the rough, man. He looks good. I don't know. He's making it hard for Trey Sermon. Like, this is a guy that was drafted in the 3rd round. Trey Sermon. He got the starting carries today. He was running back 1. Jeff Wilson was excused from the game again. And Trey Sermon, he had the ankle issue, but he was able to play. He just didn't look like he could hit that edge. He just didn't have that burst. I don't know what it is. He just doesn't have that burst. Jordan Mason running and gunning. And I know it's against backups, but he looked like he has the burst. He's patient. He's got the vision, and it's been consistent. I mean, I don't think they should have played Trey Sermon. He had the ankle issue. They should have let him rest. But he needed to go out there and prove himself, like we said, and it was not a good night for Trey Sermon. But, again, Jordan Mason continues to shine. He's going to take his reps and look good. And then you had TDP, Ty Davis Price. Come on, man. Quit playing with him, TDP. Did you see him hit the truck stick? Oh, my God. Hurdling defenders, hitting the truck stick. TDP is a physical beast, and I would not want to tackle this man. Come on. This man is insane. He's insane. Did you see TDP? Yeah, I know Sermon was playing injury, but he was playing injured. He shouldn't have played if he's playing hurt. He's not going to do himself any justice playing hurt. He's going to mentally fall apart because he's playing hurt and he's frustrated and he wants to prove himself. TDP was out there running and gunning and hitting those edges, and they couldn't tackle him, man. We have 2 gems, TDP and Jordan Mason. Yeah, man. It looks so good with those 2 guys. And then I got to give JaMycal Hasty his props because he had some nice runs. And I said it. I said, JaMycal Hasty, preseason warrior, he's going to play good, and everybody's going to sit here and say, oh, JaMycal Hasty. He's playing himself onto the roster. He knows how to play in the preseason every single year, man. Every single year. JaMycal Hasty, he makes his name known in the preseason. The preseason warrior, JaMycal Hasty, and he had a touchdown. He has that shakeability, that elusiveness. Sometimes I get a little irritated watching him dance too much. He dances too much. It's like he wants to be in America's Got Talent or some dancing show. He dances too much. But when he doesn't dance and he hits the hole, he's quick and he has the elusiveness. He dances a little too much for my liking. But again, a preseason warrior, JaMycal Hasty, is a dog in the preseason. So, I don't know. Mariah says, LOL, I said the same about Hasty. That's fact. It's true. He looks so good in the preseason. You're like, crown him, Hall of Famer. Let this man be the running back 1. And then in the regular season, it's he makes some fumbles, makes some bad plays. And it's just man, in the preseason, I'm like, God, JaMycal Hasty, you look so good, my man. So I don't know. It's funny. I'm going to get over here to the Instagram, see some questions or something that you guys have over here. Kyle Shanahan always calls some shitty pass play to Hasty in the regular season game. It's true. He kind of always passes to him some weird play, some just weird shit play. What are you doing, Kyle? RT says it's only preseason, and that's true. It's only preseason. So you take some of these, stats with a grain of salt, but it is evaluation. It's film, and we have to break it down, I know it's only preseason, but it's backups. You need to see the depth that you have, who's making the team. We know some of those guys are making the team, but who's not making the team is the real question, right? Who's not making the team? Justin Skule, man, he had another bad game. We talked about Jason Poe and how he looks good, but Justin Skule does not look good coming off a torn ACL. I think he gets cut this week. I unfortunately for Justin Skule, 2 bad games in a row coming off a torn ACL. I think he gets cut. And my boy Jordan Mills, I'm gonna own up. I wanted him to get a lot of playing time, and he did, and he didn't look too hot tonight. Jordan Mills, man, he had the opportunity of a lifetime to seize this tackle, the swing tackle spot, and he didn't take it. He didn't look good. Justin Skule didn't look good. I don't know. Keithan Sutherland. This guy didn't look good either. Like, this backup lineman, they did not look good. Aaron Banks had a couple reps where he just got demolished. Just demolished. The best lineman today was Jason Pope. He was eating people alive. Eating people alive. Thoughts on Drake Jackson? He was amazing, dude. Did you see Drake Jackson? There was a play where he gets in the backfield and then he chases down the run. I mean, Drake, oh, God. This man is incredible. Drake Jackson, every week, has been impressing me. In training camp, he's gotten better over the weeks. And tonight, he had some nice little plays. He's got some good ability to set the edge. He's got great instincts. And his bend is amazing. Like, the more he plays, the more he develops, this guy is going to be a terror on that line. I like Drake Jackson. He was nice, man. And Javon Kinlaw called him a baller at the end of the game. Like, this kid, we know Javon Kinlaw can be solid, but Drake Jackson, 61st pick, that this guy is so underrated. Like, he's going to make people realize we shouldn't have passed on him. This guy was a first-round talent at edge. We got him in the second round. This was a steal of a pick. Steal of a pick. Oh, man, Drake Jackson. Drake Jackson, man. Joshua Lopez says Castro Fields is getting cut. I don't think he gets cut. I think he gets saved to the practice squad. They got a lot of cornerbacks. And let's get to cornerbacks, There were some guys that stood out. Sam Womack had another big play on special teams. Scoops up the fumble ball and he gets the turnover. This guy's a dog. Sam Womack's a dog. But the play was caused by Malik Turner. And I told you guys, Malik Turner was a guy that I think makes the roster because his special team ability. Malik Turner, he had the peanut punch, knocked the ball out, fumble, boom, and he had some big plays. Like, I like Malik Turner. I think he makes this roster as your final receiver, and he's got good hands. And I'm telling you, Juwan Jennings, another drop. Like, Juwan Jennings, pressure is there for him to have a big season, and guys like Malik Turner are taking advantage. And then you had Willie Snead. They played him in special teams. I think Kyle Shanahan wanted to see, hey, can Snead go out there and play special teams if we need it? He didn't look like he could play special teams as good as Malik Turner. So Malik Turner gives you that ability in special teams, and he's going to make it because of that fact. So going back to those cornerbacks, you have to look at this roster and say, can some of these guys play special teams? Because they're not going to make the roster just as a cornerback because we have great cornerbacks. But they need depth. They need special teamers. Sam Womack, he can start maybe at nickel. He could play special teams. And then Castro Fields, he has talent, but he may be a year away. I think he's a developmental guy. He may be a year away to becoming like a valuable part of this team. But he has talent. The guy that really has impressed me is Diamador Lenore. He was all over the field today. He made some big plays. Money plays. I mean, he was locking it down. Lockdown Lenore. Lockdown Lenore is making strides this year, and you got to love it. Diamador Lenore was fantastic tonight. So that's a guy that, he's on the rise. Ambry Thomas was hurt tonight, so you had guys stepping in and getting their chance, and Diamador Lenore was one of those guys. Let's see. Who else? Who else stood out to me? Tarvarius Moore. He made some big plays towards the end. He showed some athleticism, and this is a guy that we needed to have step in. We have Jimmy Ward. He's hurt, right? And who's going to step in? Tarvarius Moore. He played pretty good. Last week everybody dogged him because he had a bad game against Green Bay. But Tarvarius Moore stepped back, and he had a better game. Again, it wasn't against the first team or it was against backups, so you have to take that into consideration. But I think Moore bounced back well. And another guy that played good was George Odom. He had the interception, big interception. And again, if Jimmy Ward misses time, we need someone to be able to step in for a few games. Odom, he played good tonight, and I was impressed with the interception. And again, that was a standout play. So they have guys that are working hard. Are they as good as Jimmy Ward? Obviously not, but it was nice little play, right? I'm rooting for these guys. You have to look at this roster and say, man, we need some good depth pieces, because if we get big injuries, these guys are going to have to be able to step up, and they did today for the most part. And then Taylor Hawkins gets his first career NFL touchdown, interception. Taylor Hawkins, cornerback. I don't think he makes the roster, but he's making the case that he can maybe make the practice squad, right? Because depth at cornerback is looking good. So I think a guy like Taylor Hawkins can make practice squad. Nice little interception. That was a good moment for him. So these guys are working. The backups are working hard. And, you see it on the field, and it's good for these guys. That's what the preseason's about. Younger players, undrafted players that may not make the roster, but trying to get their film out there and try to make their moment, So let's see. Get to some of these questions. Let's get some of these questions. Let's see. We got the best cornerbacks this year. I'm telling you, cornerbacks this year are much improved. We have great depth this year. At cornerback. Debbie says Kyle is going to be salty about all the penalties. Man, if this was a regular season game, Kyle would have been livid. He would have been livid. There were so many bad penalties, delay of games. You got to clean that stuff up. You have to clean that stuff up. A lot of those penalties are just nasty. Oh, Paranoid Jay says, any starters next week? What was the question? Any starters next week or some backups? But there should be some starters next week. It's the third preseason game. It's more of a ramp up, a tune-up game, the dress rehearsal they call it. I think we'll have some starters next week. It's a Thursday game, so this week was a crunch because you had a Saturday game, you had 2 joint practices with the Vikings, and then they would have a Thursday game right after that. I don't think they wanted to tire out their starters, and they got enough reps in on the scrimmages, right, with the Vikings. So I think Thursday you'll see some starters, and then you have 16 days in between the first game to rest and get better and recuperate and practice. So that's what's going to probably happen these next game or so. So Jennings looked rusty. Jennings has looked kind of rusty through the whole the whole training camp. He it's not that he's rusty. I think it's, and this is what I said earlier in the offseason when he was kind of struggling and making those drops. This is what I think. And it's the same thing that happened to Brandon Ayuk. Okay, they had a good first year. Jennings last year technically was his first year because his first year was his rookie season, and he had a hamstring injury. He missed the whole season. Then last year he had a breakout year, and everybody's like, oh, this guy Javon Jennings, he's a dog. And then what happened this offseason? We put high expectations. There's a lot of pressure on Jennings, and he's expected to have a big role, right? And now he's struggling a little bit. It's mental. It's a mental game. People don't realize the game is a mental grind. And I think Brandon Ayuk last season, he went through the same thing where he came into camp, he got hurt a little bit, he was struggling, and it weighed on him. And I think that's what's happened to Javon Jennings. He came into camp, high expectations, he struggled a little bit, and now he's, getting drop passes. We can't have that. And there was a lot of drops tonight. It wasn't just him. There's a lot of drops. Of course, it's preseason, but these are things that you have to look at and clean it up. So hopefully they hit the jugs machine heavy and they can limit those. Because Brock Purdy was making some nice passes. And they were getting dropped. I like Brock Purdy, man. Brock Purdy is a solid quarterback. I think eventually he will be a very good backup quarterback for this team. I like Purdy. He continues to make progress, zipping it. Like, to me, the most impressive part of Purdy today was that 2-minute drill. I know they didn't score a touchdown, but that 2-minute drill at the end of the first half, man, he moved the ball. He was moving those chains. I like him. Good decision making. He's strong in the pocket. He has pretty good arm. Quick decision maker. He's like a young Jimmy Garoppolo. I said this last week. He's like a young Jimmy Garoppolo, and with a little bit more touch on the ball. I like Brock Purdy, man. The guy's nice. He's good. I like Brock Purdy. He's a good little backup. Obviously, he's not a starter, but good little backup. I miss Trey Lance today. I really miss Trey Lance. I really missed him. But it was tough to see no Trey Lance out there. I was crying a little bit. I can't wait. Trey Lance is just exciting to watch. He's just so electric, so electrifying. So, did anyone predict the score correctly? You know what? Nobody even made a comment on that post, so y'all failed. Next week, when I say predict the score on the pregame YouTube video, go in the comments and predict the score, because if you do, shouting you out, you get your name all over the place, and it's going to be cool. So nobody predicted the score correct. Nobody even made a prediction. Sad days. Terrence Wilson says, Raj, sophomore slump he's going through. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was explaining. He's going through a little bit of a sophomore slump. It happens. A lot of players it happens to a lot of players. It's a lot of pressure after you have a good first season. So, how about Hasty with the tutty? He's a lock. That's what I think. I think JaMycal Hasty is making his case. We said it earlier in the start of the show that JaMycal Hasty is a preseason warrior. He knows when to turn it on. He comes in preseason and he tears it up. And then what happens after he tears it up? He gets lost in the off season, in the regular season. He gets lost in the regular season, and that's JaMycal Hasty, the preseason warrior. For those asking, who am I looking at? I'm looking at the YouTube viewers over here, and then I'm looking at you on the Instagram. We're on both cameras. We're on 2 screens, YouTube, Instagram. I'm doing my post-game recap, so obviously we're going YouTube. But for those over here that want to watch, over here, you're watching Instagram. But go to the YouTube. It's easier to ask a question, So let's get to some more of these questions. Purdy, he's quick and decisive, but needs more playing time. Yeah, he's a rookie. Of course he needs more reps. That's what all young quarterbacks need. They need the reps. Get better with more practice and more reps. Novel concept. So, what do I think about Sermon? We talked about him, and again, was not a strong showing. We talked about him at the top of the hour of the top of the show. Trey Sermon, he played hurt. Brave guy, shouldn't have played hurt. Because, again, TDP and Jordan Mason were phenomenal today. We talked about them, and those two guys shine. TDP, a truck, can't tackle him. I would be scared of my life running into him on the field. And Jordan Mason, man, just looks amazing. And Trey Sermon, or JaMycal Hasty, like I said, he's stealing a person's job. He's stealing a person's job. Thank you, Alex, for the badge. Appreciate you. He's stealing a person's job. JaMycal Hasty knows exactly what to do. The Hall of Fame of preseason players, JaMycal Hasty. How did Alfredo play? Oh, finally we get the Alfredo question. I didn't bring it up yet. Let's get to Alfredo Gutierrez. You know what? Let's give a round of applause to Tijuana's own Alfredo Gutierrez. Let's give it up for him. You know what? He made his NFL debut. And he made some good blocks tonight. So the last 2 minutes of the game, Kyle Shanahan could have kneeled the ball. He could have kneeled the ball. And ended the game. But what a gesture Kyle Shanahan did. He allowed Gutierrez to go in there, make his NFL debut. If you remember, last year he was on the NFL international program. He made the practice squad as the international developmental player. And Kyle Shanahan let him go in and play instead of kneeling the ball. He gave him some plays. And at the end of the game, he gave him the game ball. You know what? Kyle Shanahan earned a lot of points with me after that. That's a fucking great move. Sorry for my language, but that was a phenomenal coaching move right there. That just shows you he's growing as a person. Kyle Shanahan is growing as a person. He's growing as a person. I'm telling you, man. He's growing as a coach. And I said this the other day. He's smiling. He's smiling in the games. He smiled a lot today. He smiled last week. Kyle doesn't have emotion. And now he's showing it. You know what? Shout out to Kyle Shanahan. Shout out to Alfredo Gutierrez. I was so happy for this kid. Because he's had it hard. Kyle's been riding this kid hard in training camp. And again, he's been trying to learn. And it's been tough for this kid. But the fact that he got that chance tonight was so good for him. I think that's what he needed. And he said he was nervous. He had the butterflies in the stomach. He was so nervous, but he just was so happy to be out there. So shout out to Coach, man. Shout out to Kyle fucking Shanahan for giving Alfredo Gutierrez that moment. That was good, man. That was a good. You know what? Preseason, that was the wholesome story of the night. A great ending. We get a happy ending to tonight's game. Alfredo Gutierrez. Maybe he could play better than Justin Skule. You know what? Maybe Alfredo Gutierrez makes the team because Justin Skule ain't doing it. Justin Skule ain't doing it, so Alfredo Gutierrez had to show Kyle something. I'm sure that Alfredo Gutierrez just moved up the depth chart and moved ahead of Justin Skule. Alex says Kyle is coming out of the doghouse. Still in it, but he's slowly creeping out of his own doghouse. Kyle has to be in it to make sure he supervises everybody else in the doghouse. But he is definitely earning a lot of respect from me, man. I got to give Kyle that credit. Like, Jesus. He could have kneeled the ball. He let this man have his moment. He let this man have his moment. Love it. It was good. Can I post some clips of Alfredo? I did post a clip on the post where I said, congratulations to Alfredo. If you slide it, the last play is his block, where he makes his debut. So slide it. It's on there. I know I posted it. I even posted his interview. Yeah, I won't put out. Shanny fan. Let's see. Chili Frito says Alfredo will probably get more rushing yards than Sermon. Oh, cold blood. That was cold-blooded. That was cold-blooded. Y'all are just despicable. I didn't say it. Sheesh. God. Raphael says the Viking commentators were salty when Gray hit the gritty. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. That was like the most funniest moment of the night. You see Danny Gray hits the gritty and the commentator. They were so mad. It reminded me of, remember when we played Washington a couple years ago and we were slipping and sliding on the field after the win? All those announcers were so mad. They were so angry. They were like so angst. They were like, oh, fucking 49ers. That's what it reminded me of. I was like, this commentator was so mad. In his mind, he was sitting there like punching the air. Where's Justin Jefferson when you need him? Where's Justin Jefferson hitting the gritty? That man was so fucking angry. It was so funny. Yeah, the mud ball. 9-0, Peter Parker said. That was an ugly game. That was hilarious. Kellen Mond, rest in peace. Kinlaw took his life. Yeah, we talked about Kinlaw. I'm just happy for Kinlaw, man. That, to me, was the most amazing moment tonight, was seeing Kinlaw get that sack, and he just hit the gritty, and just how happy he was tonight, man. Kinlaw, you could just see a whole new life. This man's transformed. He's the Incredible Hulk, and he said he's pain-free. Like, Javon Kinlaw, man, I'm just so fucking happy for Kinlaw because this guy has went through so much adversity. If he could stay healthy, he's going to be a gem on our D-line, man. And it was great to see. It was great to see. Kick says, what's up with Jeff Wilson? I don't know. He's missed 2 games for, he's been excused from the team. I'm not too sure what's going on. So I don't want to speculate and speak on it. I don't know. Hopefully we figure out what's going on soon, but he's missed 2 games, and it wasn't because of injury from what I understand. He was just, excused from the game. So hopefully, he's okay. See, Arg says, remember I asked about Alfredo was during the camp. How do you think he did today? Wasn't able to see him play. So, yeah, we did talk about Alfredo. Again, in camp, it was kind of like a mixed bag. He's still learning. He's looked a little clunky. But today, I think that's just what he needed, was a moment to get in the game. He said he was nervous, and he made some nice block. He was flying on the block. You guys see the highlight. He was flying on the block. Like I said, shout out to Alfredo Gutierrez, man. It was just he needed that moment. That was big for him. Alfredo going to get playing time in Mexico. If he stays with this roster, if he makes this roster, Alfredo better be playing a Mexico game. He better get some playing time, right? Oh man. Jesus says the D-line was celebrating with Kinlaw. They were all just so happy for him. But you have to be. He looks incredible. Like, he looks like he's in just incredible. He said he's in the best shape of his life. I wouldn't be surprised if he trained with Nick Bosa this year, because Nick Bosa, we know how incredible of shape this man is. I think he might have helped him out a little bit. My man, Fantasy Football Show. Oh, you know what? I had to end the first stream, so the link probably don't work, unfortunately. I'll get you on the next show. He has the size. He just needs to execute. Yeah, again, it's just about technique with Alfredo, is how can he go out there and execute, like you said, and learn the techniques. He's learning. He's definitely learning. Yeah, Alfredo, he still needs some time to develop. But, it was a nice, wholesome story at the end of the game. He's definitely not going to make a starting roster on this team. But it was definitely a a happy ending tonight. I think he might have a chance to make the practice squad. I didn't think he was going to. This was nice. Maybe Kyle keeps him around. Of course, he's nice, and Kyle's a little bit nicer now. We'll see. Jordan Mason, though, to me, if I have to look through all the players tonight that really impressed me the most, I'm gonna go Jordan Mason. This was my standout. I think Jordan Mason was the guy that won the most tonight. I think he had the most on the line, and he showed. You can't cut me. You cannot cut me, because if I get cut, somebody's signing me. Jordan Mason season, man. This guy might start some games. We've talked about this before with Smitty, that Elijah Mitchell, he's got injury issues, right? He's got the hamstring, had knee surgery. He missed 6 games last year. Jordan Mason might sneak in and get some time on this team as a starter. I think Jordan Mason can start on this team. He looked impressive back-to-back weeks, impressive runs. And not only that, he played great in training camp. I think Jordan Mason was the absolute star of the night. This guy looked good. And again, I know TDP did too. TDP just scary hours with that guy. Scratch, what's up, my man? Kick says Mason is a great backup for when Elijah gets hurt. Yeah, again, this is a guy that is going to be able to come in and probably get some starting reps if Mitchell gets hurt. I really feel like Mason can start on this line. Again, undrafted guy. Kyle Shanahan has a knack for finding these late guys, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, the defense, though, overall, I think the biggest takeaway tonight, defense, we got great depth. Linebackers are out of control. I mean, I want to keep every single linebacker on this team. Oren Burks tonight was flying. We got to give some credit to Oren Burks, because 2 weeks in a row, he's been a tackle machine. Oren Burks, special teams guy, but this guy has a bright future on the Niners. Yeah, linebackers do good on this team. We're like a linebacker factory. We got Warner, Aziz, and Greenlaw. Those guys are your stars. But Oren Burks, man, 2 weeks in a row, flying over the field. Like this guy. He's definitely got to make the roster. I'm telling you what, linebacker's a tough cut, because Marcelo McCrary Ball has been nice with it, And I know they like Flanagan Fowles because he's the veteran. He's been getting outplayed by some of these guys, but they're not going to cut Flanagan Fowles because he's the vet. And I don't think they're going to cut him. But Oren Burks looks good. He was flying tonight. He's good. He looks good. Grimmel, yeah. Grimmel played good. Again, there was so many standout players tonight. There was guys that were making plays all over the field, I don't think all of them Grimmel's not going to make the final roster, but he's making the case. Maybe practice squad. McCrary Ball, practice squad. That's the guy. Again, McCrary Ball, if they cut him, he might be at risk for getting swooped up by someone. That's how good this guy's been in training camp too. So much talent. And this is what we said last week after the game, is there's just layers of depth. And that's a good thing to have, is to have a lot of depth. Of course, they're not as good as the starters, but it's good to have all the depth that we have. So, what do I think about Odom starting? Yeah, Odom was nice tonight. I don't think he's going to be a long-term starter because we need Jimmy Ward. But Odom, he played well tonight in reserve. I don't think he's your long-term answer, but he looked good tonight. And again, it was a nice interception he made. I think if we have to play him for a game or two, I think we can get by. But we can't go without Jimmy Ward for a prolonged period of time. We cannot have Jimmy Ward be hurt for a couple weeks. So, another good thing is we didn't have major injuries tonight. There was not a lot of major injuries to anybody big. We got the dub. I feel like it's a good night after that. People are going to be healthy. They kept players out that needed to be out. People are getting healthier, and I think that's a very good sign for this team. We got some hamstring stuff that we're dealing with, some minor issues here and there, but overall there hasn't been a massive injury, and that's a very good thing. I think, let's see. Our defense is stacked. How many guys on the practice squad? I think it's 14 this year, right? 14 players on the practice squad. I think that's the rule. Someone look it up. You like the shirt? Oh, yeah, this is another Target. 3 days in a row, we wore the Target shirt. So shout out to Target. If you're watching, give me the sponsorship. I'm trying to get sponsored by Target. So if you guys don't realize, 3 days in a row, we've wore the Target shirt. I got to get the sponsorship from Target. Yo, Target, sponsor your boy. It's going to happen one of these days. One of these days, I'm going to get sponsored by Target, and it's going to be phenomenal. I'm telling you. You're going to see me, not the same shirt, a different Target shirt every day. I think I wore a Biggie Small shirt one day. And then yesterday we wore the Street Fighter shirt, and today we wore the Marvel shirt. Target's got to sponsor you, boy, one of these days. Got to sponsor my ass. Oh, man. Sad Niner fan says, do you think we will roll with 3 quarterbacks still this year? I still think we roll with 3 quarterbacks. Purdy's looking not bad. I think Nate Sudfeld, they want a veteran quarterback in the locker room, and he's making $2 million. I don't think you cut him. So I think you're going to have Trey Lance, Nate Sudfeld, and Brock Purdy. I think Purdy has done good enough so far to stay to this roster. Again, it's 53 guys. D-line depth is something that we're going to have to look at because a lot of these guys are going to make this roster. And it's crazy because if we cut somebody on the D-line, they're going to start somewhere else on another team. They're that good. They can start anywhere. O-line is going to be another roster spot that takes up a lot of players. So between D-line and O-line, there's going to be a lot of players. But I still think Brock Purdy makes the final roster. I think he makes the 53-man roster. He's played good enough. We'll see, though. I mean, it is Kyle Shanahan we're talking about. He's unpredictable. He's absolutely unpredictable. Who do I think gets cut next? There's 2 guaranteed cuts, I think, that's coming up this week. Tomorrow, I'm going to go over the roster tonight, and I think tomorrow, my show, we're going to do a roster prediction. We did talk about this. We're going to do a roster prediction show tomorrow. But honestly, right now, looking at it, I think Justin Skule, he gets cut. And I think that Sutherland gets cut. Those 2 guys on the line are guaranteed, I think, cuts right now. To me, I think they get cut this week. It's going to be a sad day in the Skule household. My man Night Shift says Jason Poe on the ass. Jason Poe has been balling. You're right. He's been dominating, man. I like Jason Poe. He's a undrafted player, and he's versatile. The guy. Poe can play, guard. He can play center. He can play fullback. He can play fucking fullback. I love Jason Poe, man. I love Jason Poe. The guy is phenomenal. Phenomenal. 49ers Raj says, Skule getting cut for show. He getting for show cut. If Justin Skule's still on the roster after Tuesday, I'm gonna be shocked. I'm gonna be shook. Am I Mexican? I'm actually Indian. I'm Indian. I'm not Mexican. I get it a lot. Back in the day, a little story time. Y'all like story time. So when I used to work at my old jobs, even my healthcare jobs, like most jobs I've ever had, they just thought I was Mexican because I'm the brown guy, right? Come right up to me. Do you speak Spanish? No, I didn't. It got to a point where they didn't even say it in English. Habla español? And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not Spanish. But like people would get mad. They'd get offended. Like I remember one lady was so mad at me. She's like, you don't even speak your own language. I was like, lady, I'm not Mexican. I'm Indian. I had to explain it to her. So my family's from India. I'm not Mexican. And she was so mad at me. You should be disgraced. Your family should be disgraced. Didn't teach you Mexican. I was like, lady, I'm Indian. It's funny. Every job, they just come right up to me. Oh, he's the brown kid. He must be Mexican. But I'm Indian. So. That's true stuff, though. Oh, we got to move that troll out of here. Always got to have one troll in here. Oh, my God. Let's see. Any last questions here tonight? Let's get a few more questions before we call it a night here. Yeah, it was a good little recap. Little fun night. I think it was a good. It's always good when we win. It's always good when we win. You know. I don't know how it's gonna be when we lose this year, but I like these dubs. I like these dubs. Yo, did you see after the game, Trey Lance and Adam Thielen? We talk about that. We haven't talked about that. After the game, Adam Thielen, he comes up to Trey Lance. Hey, yo, hit me up this offseason. Hit me up this offseason. He wants to work with Trey Lance this offseason. He wants to work with Trey Lance this offseason. I don't know. Adam Thielen wants to work. Everybody wants to work with Trey Lance this season, offseason. I thought that was pretty cool. What do you guys think? What do you think? He wants to get recruited to the Niners. He wants to come to the Niners. I don't know. It's speculation. That was pretty cool. That was cool. Everybody loves Trey Lance. They're going to all want to play with Trey Lance. He wants a real quarterback throwing him the ball. Did you see also Kyle Shanahan and, of course, his BFF, Kirk Cousins, embraced after the game? I knew it. I knew Kyle Shanahan would be looking for Kirk Cousins. That's his boy. Out of every quarterback in the league, Kirk is Kyle's boy. He made sure to hug him up after the game. This man, he would walk on fire for Kirk Cousins. I think Kyle Shanahan would walk on coals. He'd walk on fire for Kirk Cousins. He loves that man. He loves that man. The Minnesota boys are going to go fishing. They might. Let's see. Some good questions. Starting center is probably going to be Jake Brendel. I mean, he wasn't playing today. They had 27 players didn't play, and Jake Brendel was one of them that didn't play. So to me, that tells me he's your starting center, just based off of that. He didn't play right? Kyle Shanahan didn't play the starter. So Jake Brendel is the starting center. He didn't even pronounce his name right last week. Jake Brendel. He said Jake Brendel. I was like, who's a Jake Brendel? Thought it was Jake Brendel. Can't even name the starting center's last name. It's not good. I hope Jake Brendel plays good this season because we need stability at center. I wish Alex Mack didn't retire this year, but then if he didn't retire this year, he would have retired next year. So we'd still have a problem at some point. At some point, there would be a problem with center. So I guess it's okay to get it out of the system now, than later. So, I don't know. You guys, tell me what your favorite moment of the game was. I got three good. My favorite moment was Kinlaw getting the sack and Danny Gray hitting the gritty because the announcer was just so salty. Like those two moments stood out today for me. They were fun. Those are probably the two best moments of the game. Oh man, those Niner Guy for Life says the Viking announcers they were so bad. Thankfully, my broadcast had Greg Papa because when I was listening at some points, when you get the highlights and you hear like the Minnesota on Twitter, you can go on and you can listen to the Vikings telecast. Those announcers were so bad. Thank God for Greg Papa. Kinlaw, Gray, Womack, Lenore played very well. Yeah, we did talk about Womack or Lenore, 49er City. I was happy with Lenore. Remember Lockdown Lenny? That was the nickname last year. And Lockdown Lenny came to play. Again, this was another guy that I said that was a standout for me. He played great coverage tonight. I think Lenore has made leaps and bounds progress this year. And this is a guy that has, stepped up. And he's had a good training camp. He's had a good offseason. I like Lenore. Good depth. This guy really came to play tonight. He made some big plays on the ball. The PBU. He had a nice tackle on the ball at one point. Like, this guy was everywhere. He was sticky tonight. I think Lenore had a fantastic game. It's good to see. You love to see it. You like to see your young cornerbacks develop. You know what? I think the confidence booster the other day, he had the big rep on Justin Jefferson on a one-on-one in joint practices. Like, that probably boosted his confidence. I know it was just a practice session, but that kind of stuff will help you mentally. And I think that was big for Lenore. He's been playing with the injuries. The good, if there's anything good out of an injury, it's really usually not. But with Emmanuel Mosley and Charvarius Ward hurt, Diameter Lenore has been placed as a starter. the last 2 weeks, and he's been playing pretty good. You got to love it. I think Lenore has played great football in the last 2 weeks. So shout out to Lenore, man. M Dash says, you think Hufanga is going to start at safety? Yeah, no question about it. Jimmy Ward and Hufanga are your starting safeties. There's no question about it. I got to say that I said we needed a safety during the draft season, and I stand corrected. Hufanga has been phenomenal, and I think he's going to play great for this team. There it is. Jesus says, Dirty Purdy was throwing dimes all game, but too many drop passes. That's a true statement. Dirty Purdy. I like Dirty Purdy. I think we just got a new nickname for Josh Purdy, for Brock Purdy. Dirty Purdy, ladies and gentlemen. Dirty Purdy. My man says Hufanga. Dom says Hufanga's not starting well. I'm pretty sure he will be because he's a starter on this team. So Hufanga will be starting. I'm pretty sure he will be. He's good. He's got a good vibe to him. Dirty Purdy. Dirty Purdy. I like it. I like it. I like it. Well, that's it for tonight. I appreciate all the support. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Tomorrow is Victory Sunday. Victory Sunday. Tomorrow all day. Enjoy. We got a win tonight. We got a dub tonight. We're 2-0 in the preseason. I know preseason is preseason, but it's good to have a victory. You go to bed feeling good about yourself and about your team. It's always nice to win. Now, I know the chat's going to be very nasty when we finally lose a game, so I hope we don't lose a game. I appreciate you guys so much. Shout out to everybody that joined the stream tonight. YouTube, Instagram, appreciate you. We'll keep grinding. And again, shout out to all the players that tore it up. Man, it's exciting. Exciting. These rookies are really stepping up. I'm just so happy to see all these rookies come in and do their thing. And I feel like this is probably going to be one of the best rookie classes in a long time. Like, all of them have just been leaving their mark. It's been nice. And that's what the preseason's all about, seeing the rookies shine. Did I watch the fight? No, I was sitting here streaming, talking to you guys. So, anyways, appreciate you so much. I don't have to go right now. I do have to go. Do you want me to talk for a few more minutes? Should I stay? Should we get an encore? Should we get an encore? Can I get an encore? Like Jay-Z would say. Should we talk for a few more minutes? Is that what you want? You guys want to stay here for a few more? All right, 5 more minutes. Well, if you missed the live, it's on YouTube, and you can watch it all night, all day. Play it in your car tomorrow. This is your new podcast. Listen to it in the morning. All right, we get an encore. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all are the best. I love you. All right, 5 more minutes. Drop some more questions. Let's go to it. So look at that. We get an encore. I need to go to work, take notes, and study the team for the game. Actually, let's talk for a few minutes. I got to cut up some clips. I got to look at the film tonight. Actually, I got to get 22, look at that. So I do got to study and get some content ready for tomorrow. We got to get the content ready for tomorrow. Who am I excited for? I'm excited for Trey Lance next week coming back. I missed Trey Lance out there. I'll be honest with you. I really missed seeing Trey Lance play today. But it was nice to see. Again, it's good to see these guys get their opportunities, like Purdy and my man Nate Sudfeld out there. It's good to see him. But I'm just more excited to see the rookies. I really love that these rookies are having a great preseason. You know, Drake Jackson, man. I think I tweeted out. I said, I cannot wait to see the Baldy breakdown of Drake Jackson again. Because I know Baldy's going to have a Drake Jackson video coming up. I could smell it. And it's going to be, God, he played good, man. He almost had an interception. I mean, he was disruptive. I'm telling you, Drake Jackson had a standout game. He may not have stuffed the stat sheet, but I want you to just look at the highlights. Go back, watch the game. And Drake Jackson was a phenomenal player tonight. Very, very disruptive. Very disruptive. Very disruptive. Should we be concerned about Jennings? Not yet, because it is preseason. But again, what I said earlier, if you missed it, is he's mentally. I think it's just a mental thing with him. You know, it's that sophomore slump kind of thing that we talked about earlier. Like, there's a lot of pressure on Jennings because everybody's expecting him to have this monster year. Like, oh my God, he had a breakout year. Now he's got to do better. It's tough to continue to play good, and it's stressful. It's mental because he can make those catches. I know he can make those catches. It's mental for him because he's been consistently dropping. When you start messing up, when you start making mistakes, you get in your head. You get in his head. My man Ian says Danny Gray getting to. That's the thing. There's so many players on this team that are stepping up and they're applying pressure, like TDP, right? TDP putting pressure on Trey Sermon. You know it. You know for a fact that when Sermon saw that drop pick, he was probably like, "Oh shit, I gotta step up." Like it's not. It's a fact. Someone comes and they're coming in to do the same job as you. You're gonna feel the pressure. You're gonna feel the pressure. If you ever had a job and someone comes in, hot shot youngster coming in, same spot as you, you're gonna be like, look over your back. Pressure. Danny Gray, Ray McLeod, these guys are there. They're gonna apply some pressure. I know they're a team, but it's still one of those guys. They're gonna eat at his carries, or his reps. You know, if you start playing good for Kyle Shanahan, he's going to give you more opportunities. So it's football talk, not UFC. Yeah, we're not the UFC. Should I start streaming UFC? Start talking about UFC? Come on, man. Terrace says, don't worry, we got a nice wide receiver core, so we should be good. We got a great wide receiver. This receiving core is going to be one of the best they've had in a minute. You got Debo, you got Ayuk, you got Jennings, you got Gray, you got Ray, and you got my boy, Malik Turner. Malik Turner. I'm telling you, he's making the roster. Malik Turner making the 53-man roster because of his special team abilities. Should we believe in Shanny in the playoffs again? This is where he's got to prove it. Right? He gets close. But if we want to win a Super Bowl, we got to believe in Kyle. And I think he could take us there. I think it's going to be hopefully this year. But it's what I said the other day. I said it took Andy Reid years and years to finally get the monkey off his back. And he did it. And now everybody thinks Andy Reid's like the best coach in the NFL. Shanahan is close. He's a great innovative mind. And again, what I talked about the other day is Kyle Shanahan deserves a lot of flowers. Because you know what? Kyle Shanahan, he's helped build this roster. Like, you look at this roster, top to bottom, and John Lynch too. The players, they have Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, Trent Williams, and a lot of homegrown talent. Many of these guys, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, a lot of these guys were cultivated through the draft. Homegrown talent, brick by brick, like they say. You got to give Kyle Shanahan some credit because this roster was gutter trash when he took over. You know who the players were. Shout out to Kyle. We're giving Kyle Shanahan a lot of credit tonight, a lot of flowers. We give him Shanahan a lot of flowers tonight because he's definitely improving as a coach. He's gotten better as a human being. Like he's just better all around. The biggest thing, like I keep saying, the fact that my man Kyle is showing the emotion and he's smiling every game. He's smiling every game, man. That's a big change. I know he's blown leads. I know he kind of takes the foot off the gas when it matters, but I think eventually he's going to learn from it, right? I think eventually he's going to learn from it. So we'll see. I'm pulling for this team to win the Super Bowl, and I want Kyle to win that Super Bowl, man. I want him to take us there. So just got to, once he gets it done, nobody will ever question him. Once he wins a Super Bowl, nobody will ever question him again. You can't take away a trophy. Jesus says he's smiling because he knows what's coming. He knows what's coming, baby. He knows what's coming. Get your tickets to the Trey Lance show, ladies and gentlemen. Drop a ticket if you're riding the hype train, Trey Lance. Because if you're not aboard right now, like Smitty said, if you're not aboard the Trey Lance train right now, we don't want you. We don't want you on the train. You can do like Smitty said and try to hang on to the back You can get dragged on the floor. But if you don't have a ticket now, you ain't going to be on that Trey Lance train. Get your tickets. Make sure you have your tickets now. No counterfeit tickets will not be accepted. And it's not like the golden ticket from Willy Wonka. The 5 storms are coming, baby. Trey Lance time. Are you guys excited to see Trey Lance on Thursday night? I know I am. I am so ready to see Trey Lance. Get your damn tickets to the Trey Lance show. That was a fun night. This was a good night. This was a great win. This was fun times with y'all. We'll do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna do a. What are we gonna do? I don't even know anymore. We're gonna talk about the game, obviously. We're gonna do like our post game thoughts, and then we'll talk about any news that might be going on, and then we're going to do a roster prediction show. That's what I want to do. I want to do a roster prediction show. We're gonna see and then let's do a prediction of the players that will get cut this week. We'll predict who gets cut by Tuesday because there are 5 cuts that need to happen. 5 cuts that need to happen. Hold it. Justin Sewell's on the phone. Hey, what's up, Justin? Yeah, you might want to pack your bags up for the week. That's all I'm going to say. Have a great night. Justin Sewell just called in and said, what's up? I said, might want to pack your bags. My man, Shergill says, Sermon getting cut? I don't think he gets cut. I don't think Sermon gets cut. No, there's no way. Sermon does not get cut this week. He does not get cut this week. Kick says, how much is rent in San Jose? It's very expensive. It's like $3K. Shit. So expensive. Pack your bags, Skewell. No ID says, Sermon has draft capital. There's no way they cut him. No matter what the fan base is. I'd rather trade him. You'd rather trade him. Why would you cut a 3rd-round pick? He still has he's not going to get cut. You don't cut him. He'll stay. You're not cutting him. Raj, when's the collab with the Texans fan page? Good question. I'm going to reach out to him. We're going to do so I don't know if you guys heard me last time when I was live. I want to do a collab with a fan page of every team this season that we play, and we're going to do a live video, break down the game together. So I don't know. I don't even know whoever runs the Houston page. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know if there's a Houston page that exists. I don't know. So if there's a Houston page that exists, I'm going to find them, and we're going to talk, and we're going to do a live show. They got to know their stuff. They can't be – I don't want them to – a lot of these people are probably going to want the clout, but look, we're going to get a good, knowledgeable person that runs a Houston page or something, and we're going to chop it up with them. So that's what we're going to do every single week. It's going to be fun when we do the Seahawks one. I know some Seahawks fan pages. They're respectful. This is what I asked, though. What I asked is to be respectable. Respectful. I can't even talk. Be respectful. Even if it's a Seahawks fan, please be nice. Talk shit about them all afterwards. But be nice to the guest. We got to treat them nicely. Even the Raiders fans. Even the Rams guys. Let's treat them nicely. Open our home to them. And then after they leave, we talk shit. But not when they're on. Don't talk crap to them in their face. You know what I mean? It's disrespectful. So this is what we're going to do. On my way to make a Texans fan page. He's going to do it. Oh, man. I can't wait. Bears getting stomped week 1. You know who's going to do, week 1? My man Bear Down Cuz. That is going to be a fun live. Your boy and Bear Down, week 1, we are for sure going to chop it up. We're for sure going to chop it up. My man Kick says, any word on Eric Davis? I haven't heard. Haven't heard anything on Eric Davis. I'm still trying to find out what is going on with Eric Davis. We don't know yet. Eric, if you're watching, if you're on the live, if you're out there, please let us know what is going on. What is going on? I don't know. Shout out, though, to Alfredo Gutierrez. Let's give him one more round of applause for his first game tonight. Shout out Javon Kinlaw. Great game for him. He needed this. This was a good game for him to kind of get back and get in the groove. He was healthy, and he was out there having fun. And shout out to Danny Gray for hitting the gritty in Minnesota. Fucking savage, man. That was great. And shout out to the Niners for catching the dub. Shout out to the best Niner fans in the world, the best subscribers, the best supporters, all of you. I love you. Instagram, it's been real. YouTube, it's been real. Have a good night. Enjoy your Sunday. Victory Sunday, baby. Have a good night. I love you.